Hi, Mark from Sharkbait here. Father's Day 2018. I made a little post, really personal family type story, and thought it might not be a bad idea to put a little video up to go along with it. Here's just the background. My youngest son, Mike, who many of you who go back with Sharkbait a while remember as a picture of the week when he was first hatched in February 2008. Mike, wonderful child. As a parent, it just delights me every day. He's our youngest. We also have an older boy now that's 22. He's over the hill. Sergey's been working here at the shop since he was in junior high school age, helping out a lot of skill set with that kid now. And he's finishing up university time. In any event, with Mike is one of those boys that was, as increasing frequency is identified in that autism spectrum. A label is a label. I had a little special ed background for whatever that was worth. Certainly unprepared as a parent for a child that has a learning disability. I'll preface again and say he's a bright little guy within his skill set, within those things that interest him. But noticed early on, my son was speech delayed. He was really, maybe there'd be one word, and has been receiving some assistance, not nearly enough, but it's the nature from county services as he was growing up, 2 years old, 3 years old, that sort of thing. Identified pretty early that he was developmentally delayed, and again, speech language were the big deficits with my boy. Given that we didn't have a whole lot of language together, Mike and I, we still would exchange, and oftentimes it was, as best as I can do, it would be in song. I'm not a singer, and usually it would just be a do-do-do and da-da-da and do-do-do and da-da-da, back and forth and back and forth. But there were a couple little riffs that we would do, and it was just an awful lot of fun with a little guy, and we'd just it'd be kind of a point where we just it would change the tone or the stanza, I guess, the music, and that's how kind of we communicated. Clock moves on. Now he's a little bit older, and I got one of these pedaling bicycle type of things, and I didn't feel comfortable with him leaving the house, going through the neighborhood, wonderful neighborhood, but didn't feel comfortable without some way of him communicating or us communicating with Mike. And so I got a couple little walkie-talkie things, and Mike and I would kind of chat back and forth, a couple of words. Hi, Mike, what you doing? Where are you? Come home. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go, on a race, that sort of stuff. And he'd, come back with a daddy this or a daddy that. But again, usually one word or so. But we would also do our little song together where I do a little bit and he does a little bit, and then we do a little bit together. And, for a child with a deficit on the communication side, whether it's spoken word or it's a sound, it's still communication, and that's the deficit area. And so anything we could do is a plus, the way I looked at it. And again, I can't stress any of you who have a child that would have a quote-unquote learning disability or developmental delay. We all know there's so many other things, so many other gifts these children have that aren't quite quantified the same way. In the case of my boy, you wouldn't believe the stuff he's able to find on the internet in a good way. Every toy that he's had, he's wound up finding a way to look it up. He's using the computer to recognize his speech, and so he'll do a search using speech rather than type it in. He can type it in too, but like most of us, a little bit lazy, and that helped generate some speech. Okay, so we move forward. One of the nice things about the elementary school Mike has been in is that they have continuity with teachers. So we have the same teacher for kindergarten through second grade, so 3 years with one instructor, then he finishes up the elementary experience, third, fourth, and fifth grade with the same instructor. At the end of his fourth grade, or end of his third grade year, Mike indicated that, oh wow, they have a talent show and he wants to be in it next year. Okay, we don't give that much thought through the summertime. Time goes on, and so now we're finishing up fourth grade. It's about a month or so before the end of the school year, maybe a little bit before that. And my boy says he wants to be in the talent show. Well, the wife and I both were a little bit frightened at that. As a parent, you're concerned that, boy, I don't want to set my child up for failure or ridicule or anything. And after some talk, we both came to the conclusion that, he's in a good situation. The teachers and the school people know him. The other children at the school know him. It's a very kind campus that he's on. The children are very kind. There's no bullying. There's no teasing. It's a nice, safe place for a kid to be, which is why he's still there. And we haven't moved back to Texas yet. In any event, we give Mike a green light to do the talent show, and they've got some practices first. I asked Mike what he wants to do, and he says he wants to play his recorder. Well, the kids, as part of the elementary side, 3rd grade, they all play recorders. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's going to play this doggone thing. All the kids played it. Maybe he got pat on the back. I patted on the back a little bit because he did the tune the other kids did, differential standards and all that sort of stuff. And I'm still concerned about what's going to happen when he does it. But we give him rein, and he takes the rein, and he kind of leads the way. And so he went to the practices, and so now it's the day of the talent show. And my God, proud Papa and Mama we were. Mike comes out on stage, he's dressed up, and he does his routine, and I listen to the song he sings, and dang nabbit, I know this song, but I don't know quite what it was, but I remember it. And Mike's teacher was sitting next to us, and she's beaming as well, and we talk after he finishes, when the kids are done with the show. And she mentions that Mike said to her the first day of school that he was going to be in the talent show this year. Not asking about it, he said he's going to be in it. And sure enough, he followed through with that. And the teacher asked him what it was he wanted to play. And my son said, Daddy's song. That's right. Mike's song was the one we used to do back and forth. That was Daddy's song. And I tell you, the little guy melted my heart with that. I had forgotten, the tune. But it brought back those memories of Mike and myself communicating the way we could. Maybe not with words, but with sound and music. And the kid just nailed me. And that was my Father's Day gift. As far as being a dad, we don't need ties, we don't need socks, we don't need gifts. We need what only the family can give us. And we get this every day of the week if we just open our eyes and we're cognizant of what's going on about us and what's important in life. As a dad, that's my Father's Day gift for the next decade. To have him remember that, put it to tune, and want to do it in front of the other kids and give me the credit of Daddy's song, it feels pretty good. It feels pretty good. And I know for those of you that have been dads before and gone through all these sorts of emotions, for me it was unusual. I didn't get married until late in life, and so this experience came later. For me, and it's been a real blessing, with this boy. Developmentally delayed, slow in speech, but he's so fast in other areas, as all kids are. We just need to look at those areas of strength and reinforce them, and then, the future will drive on, and the future is going to be what it is, regardless of what we do. But have your minds open for the love that you're surrounded by, and recognize it. Pretty neat to have Daddy's song. So coming up next is Mike Smith with the talent show for his elementary school, 2018, doing Daddy's song. And I'm pretty damn proud. Thank you. Happy Father's Day.